What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alya if you're new here. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 15 easy lifestyle changes to help prevent and reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So I'm going to try and do these in order as I would personally do them throughout the day. I feel like that's going to be the easiest way to do it. So the first thing I really recommend you doing if you are not already is sleeping on a silk or satin pillowcase. I've talked about this before. You don't have to spend a lot of money on these. You can get them on Amazon for like a pack of 2 for around $8 to $10. I will link obviously all these products down below for you if you want to check them out for yourself. That one's really important. And another thing that I've been doing for about the last year and a half is actually sleeping with a silk eye mask. So I do the silk pillowcase and then I wear the eye mask. And this is really important because it does help with preventing fine lines from forming around your eyes when you sleep. You always should be trying to sleep on your back, and that's something that I've been training myself to do lately. And I'll get into that in just a minute, but I have always been a side and face sleeper, and that is so bad for your face and your skin as you get older. If you just think about the way you're sleeping on your pillow, you're crushing your face, you're crushing your eyes. And this, I've noticed, has really made a difference with helping to prevent fine lines from forming around my eyes. It kind of acts as a little buffer, and because it's a slippery material, it also slips on the satin of the pillowcase, so that helps a lot. But you really should be sleeping on your back. Also, when you lay on your back, gravity is kind of like pulling your skin back, so it's almost like an instant facelift. For the last few months, I have incorporated in a skincare device, and this particular one is the L&L Skin VIA device. This has 3 different settings, so I usually start on this end of the device. I'll link a whole video up above of how I use this, so I won't go into too much detail. Basically, it has 3 settings. It has a sonic setting, it has a radio frequency setting, and it has an EMS setting. Now this end here is the end that does the sonic and radio frequency, and radio frequency is actually recognized and approved by the FDA for reducing fine lines and wrinkles. Now if you flip the tool to this side, you see these 2 little spinny, what I like to call little disco balls. And this is the EMS side, and EMS stands for electronic muscle stimulation. EMS is ideal for toning the muscles in your face to tighten the skin. And the way that it does this is it actually uses a microcurrent to stimulate the muscle to help make it stronger, tighter, and leaner. As a result, the muscle will help to fill up any loose skin and give an overall smoother and cleaner looking appearance. After I finish using this device, I actually like to go in with my Gua Sha, and again, I just filmed a video on this, which I will link up above if you want to see in depth. I did a follow along tutorial, so if you are new to Gua Sha, or maybe you just want to add a few, extra techniques to your regimen, definitely check that out. But I use this every single morning. You can use it morning and night. You can use it just at night if you prefer. But this is really great for things such as lymphatic drainage, tension, if you clench your jaw or you just are stressed out a lot and you feel tension, in your temple area, your jaw area, things like that. This has really helped me personally with that. Now, the next thing that I do every morning is I fill up this giant jug of water, and I try to finish as much, if not all of this, every single day. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. This is a 2,000 milliliter or 2-liter jug. But basically what I do is I fill this up every single morning. I keep it with me on my desk all throughout the day, so I am always reminded to be taking sips of it throughout the day. And I just find that my skin has looked so much not only clearer, more radiant, there's no more like dullness to my skin. I never really realized how dehydrated I actually was. And dehydrated skin does give off the appearance of more fine lines and wrinkles, because obviously when your skin is dehydrated, it is sucked out of all the moisture, so all of those like crevices and lines definitely start to show and come to the surface. So if you struggle with drinking enough water throughout the day like I do, I really encourage that you pick up one of these bottles. I got this one on Amazon. I'll link it down below for you. Remember, hydrated skin is plump, glowy skin. The next one that I have always tried to do, this is something that my mom always instilled in me, and that is moisturize your entire body every single day. So when you get out of the shower, when you get out of the bath, really make it a habit to slather on that moisturizer all over your body. Your skin is your largest organ, and a lot of times we tend to neglect the rest of our body. We think about our face or maybe our neck, but we're not really thinking about how dry and dehydrated the rest of our body can look, and that can just cause your skin overall to appear dull and look older. A moisturizer that I really like is actually by the Funky Soap Shop, and this is called the Sweet Moringa Body Lotion. This is handmade, it's suitable for vegans, it's not tested on animals, and it's biodegradable. This doesn't have any junk in it at all. So a lot of the body lotions that you pick up at, you know, your local CVS and things like that are full of chemicals, and if you think about it, you're slathering that on your entire body and it's absorbing into your bloodstream, and it's just yucky. So really trying to find a lotion that does not have any of those ingredients can be really difficult. And the only other ones that I found were very expensive, but this one was a very good price. Another one, obviously, we all know this, but SPF. Now, I use this Purito Daily On The Go SPF 50 with a PA rating of +++. This has UVA and UVB protection. Make sure that your sunscreen has both of those. You are getting gypped. If you only have coverage for one, you really need the coverage for both UVA and UVB. Now, I love this one. This is, again, one you can pick up on Amazon. It's, I believe, like $16. It's under 20 for sure. And I just love this one. It's a Korean SPF. I use this on my face, neck, and back of hands every single day. And I'll get into another reason why you want to put SPF on the back of your hands in just a minute. And then another thing that I always do is I use a makeup product with SPF in it as well. This isn't going to make the SPF rating higher. So, like, if you're pairing a SPF 50 sunscreen and an SPF 50 makeup, it's not going to make it like an SPF 100, but this will definitely help on any areas that you might have missed with your sunscreen, and it's good just to be double covered. So I really love the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation Sunscreen. I have mine in the shade Natural Buff 40. I'm actually wearing it today. And I just really love the formula of this. It is more of like a natural finish. It's definitely not matte, but I also wouldn't say it's dewy, and I just feel like it's really, really flattering. Now, I'll share a few other of my favorite SPF products when I'm traveling. I always reach for my Isdin Eryfotona Ageless Ultralight Emulsion Broad Spectrum SPF 50. This has photo aging defense. It's a 100% mineral sunscreen, and it's water resistant for up to 40 minutes. Now, this is a tinted sunscreen. I love this. This is perfect for if you want to have makeup on when you're, you know, out and about, when you're at the beach. It's not going to cause you to break out, and it will still give you some coverage, but also protect you from the sun. So I love this one. A lot of people are like, okay, well, that's great, but, you know, I'm supposed to reapply the SPF throughout the day, but I can't because now I have all this makeup on, and you can't exactly just go in with, you know, your liquid sunscreen and rub that on your face over your foundation. That's just gonna, you know, screw everything up. So you need to find something that's going to, you know, set your face throughout the day and work well with your makeup products. So a couple products that I've used are the Supergoop Resetting Powder. This is a mineral powder. This is an SPF 35, so it's not as high, but it's better than nothing. And this is also broad spectrum, so UVA, UVB. Basically, you just pop down. You have the product here, and you pretty much just go over your whole face with this. And I always keep this in my purse. It's just, you know, really easy. It fits in pretty much all of my bags, and it's great for on the go. Another one that is a newer one that is probably better than the little brush powder is the Supergoop Resetting Refreshing Mist. This is an SPF 40. And this is sweat and water resistant for up to 40 minutes. So, you know, if you're going to the gym, things like that, this one's great. Also broad spectrum. You want to shake this one. It sounds like one of those old school hairspray balls. Like, listen. To be honest, this one smells toxic to me. I have a really hard time using this. So maybe that's just me. I don't know. It is a chemical sunscreen. And like I said before, this is a mineral sunscreen. So it kind of just depends on the vibe you're going for. I personally prefer this, even though it has less coverage and it probably isn't as effective as this one, but this is also an option. Now, while we are on the topic of sunscreen, I also apply this, like I said, down the neck and the backs of the hands. It is very important not to forget the backs of your hands because those do show signs of aging first. You know, your hands are always out, they're always exposed to the sun, but particularly if you go to the nail salon. So if you are getting gel or biab or anything where you're putting your hands in that heat lamp, you're getting exposure to UV rays and sun damage, so you definitely want to make sure that you are protecting the backs of your hands when you do that. Most of us go to the nail salon, you know, every couple weeks. Think about putting your hands in a, for lack of a better term, tanning bed, and just think about how that is going to cause damage over the years. So definitely don't forget to put SPF on the backs of your hands. Something else that I always make sure to do is I always make sure to have sunglasses and or a little visor hat handy. I tend to get really bad migraines from the sun, even if it's just for like 5 minutes of direct sunlight. So I always have to have sunglasses handy at all times. I really like these ones. These are just some cheap ones. I think I got these on Pretty Little Thing, but I can link some from Amazon for you. And then a visor because, you know, I need to also shield my face from the sun. I definitely have noticed as I get older, I start to get more sunspots and things like that, and it's definitely from improper protection from the sun on my face. And the reason that I love a visor is because it is, one, adjustable, and I can wear my hair pretty much any style I want because the whole top of the hat is open, and it also keeps my head from getting sweaty. That's like one thing that I really hate about hats is my notice that my scalp and my head gets really sweaty from a hat. This is just so much easier. If I want to wear a ponytail or a bun, I can. And then, you know, I just pop it on like that. My sunglasses fit right under it. It definitely is giving very like suburban housewife going to walk the dog, but you know what, I'm here for it. In this day and age, we are always glued to our electronic devices and we are always looking down. So whether you're looking down at your computer when you're working at your desk and typing, whether you're looking down when you're holding your phone when you're texting, looking down reading off of your iPad, we're almost always in this position when we are using any of our electronics. And this has definitely contributed to a phenomenon called tech neck. Tech neck is where you start to get rings in your neck at an early age, and you're noticing it a lot more with millennials and Gen Zs who are always glued to their phones, always looking down. I myself am guilty of this and have been working really hard to try to rectify the situation so that these don't turn into permanent wrinkles in my neck, but I definitely do have the appearance of a couple lines, and that is because I'm always looking down at my phone or my computer. So one way that you can combat this is by getting a laptop riser to lift it up so that it is more level with your eyes and you don't have to look down and you can just look straight ahead. Another thing that I try to do is I always try to hold my phone up when I'm looking at it instead of holding it down and looking down. And I know that that seems kind of awkward because especially if you're in public, people are like, are they filming me? Like, what's going on? But you just have to get over that because otherwise you're just going to be looking down and you're going to be promoting those lines in your neck. Honestly, it really helps, and I've noticed a reduction in the lines of my neck just in the last couple months from being vigilant and paying close attention to this. Next is avoid unnecessary facial expressions. Now, some of us are really expressive in the face. Me, not so much. I have what a lot of people call a resting bitch face. So I don't really make a lot of facial expressions using my eyebrows or my forehead. It's more so like just with my eyes or like my lower face that tends to be more expressive and where I start to notice lines forming more rapidly than maybe on my forehead. While I don't necessarily make a lot of facial expressions with my forehead when I'm speaking to people, I notice that I do it when I watch TV shows. Does anyone else do that? You like, you know, something dramatic is happening on the screen and you're like frowning or you're raising your eyebrows, you're doing something, and I'll catch myself with my eyebrows like raised like this for like 15 minutes. And it's just creating fine lines in my forehead for what? Absolutely no reason. So another way that you can work on training yourself not to do this is actually by forehead taping. And I know it sounds really crazy, but honestly, if you take a piece of Scotch tape and you place it on your forehead, either horizontally or vertically, when you raise, you'll hear the crackling and you'll feel the tugging and you'll immediately be like, oh crap, and you'll lower your eyebrows into just a neutral position. And the way that you can practice doing this, obviously you don't want to be doing this out in public. I mean, you can by all means, no judgment here, but most people aren't going to do that. So I'd recommend doing it when you're at home, you know, when you're with your significant other or while you're watching a show. Tape your forehead and just see how it goes. I really think that it will help you learn to stop using your forehead muscles as much when being expressive. Try to remember to use a lip balm every day. I know most people probably do this, but just get in the habit of sticking one in your purse, because cracked, dry lips definitely lean towards looking, you know, just a bit more dry and old, and we don't want to look crispy. So I just really like this coconut one by The Body Shop. It is a lip butter. I prefer products that have the term butter in it. I just feel like they're a little heavier, they're a little richer, and they tend to moisturize my skin better, or in this case, my lips. So I really like this. Also, I don't really use matte lipsticks anymore. I always gravitate towards my lip oils, and this one is by Clarins. It's their Lip Comfort Oil. They've recently repackaged it, so it may not look identical to this. This is the shade Candy. I love this one. This is what I have on today. It lasts a really long time. It has a slight bit of pigment to it, and it just makes your lips look really plump and juicy and fills in all the lines so they don't look dried out and old and crispy. This is something I've been doing for the last couple years now, and it has truly been a game changer, and that is using a skin balm around your eyes before bed. Now this is the Aquaphor Soothing Skin Balm, and this helps to prevent dry, cracked skin, and it is non-comedogenic, so it's not going to clog your pores or anything like that. And before bed, after I've put on my eye cream for the night, I take a little bit of this on my ring finger, and I just rub this under and around my eyes, around the sides of my nose, and even over my lips, and sometimes even on the one fine line that I have coming in on my forehead, just to lock in the moisture and help to prevent that from maybe getting worse. So this is amazing, and I know it sounds weird because I do sleep with an eye mask on. So yes, you have this on and then you put the eye mask over. Is it sticky? It's really not as bad as like some people might think it is. I personally don't have an issue with it, and I just noticed that the skin around my eyes is a lot smoother. It's a lot more radiant. There is significantly less fine lines than prior when I wasn't doing this. Anyway, try it out. I think you might like it. Now, if you've made it this far, you are a real one. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. Use a retinoid. Now, there are tons of different types that you can choose from, and I would definitely recommend starting with something very gentle and mild, like a 0.05%, and then slowly working your way up. Now, retinoids are the most promising anti-aging agent in the skincare world. Tretinoin, which I use in particular, is the most widely studied and effective form of any retinoid, but I will preface this by saying this is something that you really need to work up to using. It is very harsh, and a lot of times dermatologists won't necessarily recommend it because you can experience a lot of flaking and redness and burning. So you need to get this prescribed by a dermatologist. It's not something you can pick up over the counter, but before you just run to your dermatologist and get tretinoin, I'd recommend starting with a more gentle retinol. So maybe try the one from The Ordinary. This one is a 0.05 or 0.5%. It is like a serum. That one's fantastic. That's the one that I started my boyfriend on. He doesn't have any peeling or anything like that from that. And if you feel like you can amp it up, try a retinol that is maybe like a 1%. See how you do with that before moving on into tretinoin. Now, I'm on a 0.05% tretinoin, and I currently use this 2 times a week. Now, for the rest of my body, I do use this on my neck as well, but for my chest, arms, and the backs of my hands, I actually use the Olay Regenerist Retinol 24. This is actually a lot stronger than you might think it is. Now, I bought this because I was like, oh, I'll use that on my face every night on the nights that, you know, maybe I can't use the tretinoin, or maybe I'll just use this and not this. Honestly, this actually makes my face flake. And last but not least is actually an LED light therapy mask. Now, this is one that, again, I did pick up on Amazon. These can range in price drastically. You can get some for like 50 bucks. They go all the way up to like $1,000. Now, this one I believe I picked up for around $80 to $100 on Amazon. This has multiple different settings on it, and it's very easy to use. Now, normally when I use this, I use the red light setting, and red light therapy has been shown to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, increase collagen density, reduce signs of UV damage, as well as acne scars and burns. And basically your mitochondria soaks up the red light to make more energy, and this in turn promotes the healing of the skin. And there are scientific studies on the effectiveness of red light therapy, which I will link down below in the description box if you want to check that out. And this is something that you really have to commit to doing every single day. If you're just doing this like once a week or once a month or here and there, you're not going to get results. It's something that you really need to commit to every day. So what I personally like to do is I keep this by my bedside, and every night before bed when I'm watching a show and winding down, I'll take it out and put it on for 10 minutes, and I really have found that my skin has looked a lot more even. There's definitely been a reduction of fine lines, especially around my eye area, because like I said, I was a side sleeper my whole life, so I started to notice, you know, the beginning of maybe like a tiny bit of crow's feet, and that has definitely helped combat that, as well as some of the sun damage that I've just gotten over the years from not wearing sunscreen in my younger years. And this isn't something that you're going to see results from right away. Like I said, it's a process. You really have to commit to it. I've been using it, I would say off and on for a year, but religiously for about the last 6 months. So that is it for today, guys. Those are my 15 tips on how to change a few things around your lifestyle to prevent and reduce fine lines and wrinkles. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And drop me a comment down below if there are any tips that I missed or anything that you incorporate into your routine that you think I should try. Thank you guys so much for watching.